TV Glow before World's Fair even got into Sundance. And it was really like 2 months after I got on hormones and changed my name. And, you know, like I had come out like a year earlier to friends and family, but most friends and family are just kind of like, cool. I don't know what non-binary is, but it sounds like you're going through something, so like good luck.
I know this might sound crazy. I don't want to alarm you. Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called...
The Pink Opaque?
Yeah. Do you watch?
I somehow missed it when I saw it Sunday. I said that Emma Stone was a producer of this. How did you hook up with her? What doors did she kind of open?
Well, we were in Venice. I remember like the first time I talked to Emma on Zoom, I was in Dallas for the Oak Cliff Film Festival and had like just like a Zoom in my hotel. I was there with World's Fair, and then I remember like walking outside and it was like literally like billboards for like Cruella everywhere. And, like, I was just like, what the fuck? I was like she was on a screen just with me. It was very weird. Yeah, that level. I think there's like something about that level of celebrity that I see some commonalities with transness within, which is like, you kind of can't walk down the street without people being weird.
Each episode, they help each other fight a new monster from across the county. But it's way too scary for most kids.
If we're gonna defeat him this time, we're gonna need to harness the full potential of our shared powers.
I'd say the movie is like 70% about like my like unhealthy obsession with Buffy the Vampire Slayer teenage years, and 30% about like how much I adored Saturday Night Nickelodeon as a kid. You know, and just the way that like, the way that I would look forward all week to like this programming block where, you know, it was like, okay, well I can like leave the drudgery of life behind on Saturday nights and like, you know, fully give myself to like not just like one show that I love, but this whole sort of like experience, this curated experience.
Did you have a curator? Did you have a Maddie? Did you have someone that you watched these with?
Yeah, no, well, I did have a Maddie. The Maddie is loosely inspired by somebody, this like girl who was a year older than me in high school, and who like on the first day of 9th grade, like saw me and my friends who were like the vaguely off little losers, you know, and came over and like showed us her like nipple piercings. We were like, cool.
Sometimes the Pink Opaque feels more real than real life.
Maddie, it was a TV show.
Are you sure that's all it was?
But like especially in my younger years, like I think the primary place where so much of my love was going was like to media, you know? And especially Buffy, I think was like such a big one for me, and like, and it's weird, and I think it's a coping mechanism, right? Like I still, you know, like I think I'm much less dissociative these days, and I still love art and, you know, music and beautiful films, but it was a different thing where it was like all of my love, you know, like any form of like emotional relationship was going into like things that couldn't see me. You know, it was like a two-way mirror where like I could see them, but they couldn't see me. And you know, I could like invest in Buffy's high school experience, so I didn't have to invest in my own. And that kind of love and devotion, like I do think it, like I mean love quite literally, you know, like I've been in love, and I think I was like in love with those shows with Buffy, and yeah, I think the movie is like, and World's Fair touches on it as well, and just like the ways in which, yeah, before it's safe to, like, because I do think to love you need to be loving as yourself, right? Like to love another person, it's not just like voyeurism, it's like you need to be sharing your true self with that other person to some degree. and I couldn't do that in my life, and so I did that with TV shows.
I like girls, you know that, right?
Totally, that's fine.
What about you? Do you like girls?
I think that I like TV shows.
I think like a large part of, especially when I was writing this film and like initially conceiving of this film, and and again, this was 2 months after I had like really started a physical transition and was facing like all of the immediate backlash of it. I think there's like, it's a film about how something seemingly as innocuous as like your dad saying, "Isn't that a show for girls?" can steal literal decades of your life. And if there's like a monster in the movie, right, like the villain just stares at us from the sky, you know, like all that. I got an early note from like people on the script before we made the movie was like, oh, let's like really like get into the psychology of the dad though. And I was like, no, the dad psychology doesn't matter. It's like literally if the movie is about anything, it's just about like the power of that glare in its simplicity, but also in the way that like when you grow up sort of feeling gazed at like you're disgusting, or like you have some ephemeral sickness that even you don't understand. How can that not sort of create this the circumstances for shame and the predilection to like apologize for being yourself?
What if I really was someone else? Very far away on the other side of a television screen.
When you see the dad glaring from across the room, and that glare being something that like has to be visceral in the film in a very specific way, that like you could cast like any number of angry dads, but if you cast Fred Durst, like there's going to be an association of like what you feel when you see Fred Durst. The only other candidate that I took seriously that I really had in my brain if Fred said no was Jimmy Fallon.